welcome back to part 2 of making our basket. So I've made a decision. I am not making a great big basket for this video. I decided I have so many other things that I'm working on right now. I really didn't want to spend the time to make a big basket, but I do need a basket to go around a pot that I have a big, taller than me cactus in. And I will show you that pot and the cactus here now. So this is the pot that I want to cover with my new basket. And this is the plant. I wasn't kidding when I said it was taller than me. It's almost, our ceilings are 8 feet. It's almost touching the ceiling. It has maybe a foot more to go. So I have had this cactus for over 35 years. I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it's been over 35, that's for sure. And I started it from a piece that was, I'll pop you down, maybe like this, just a little piece like this. My aunt had a much smaller version of this, and she gave me a little piece. If you take this off, it'll root. It'll also bleed, but it'll root. And so I've had this, like I said, for 35 years, and it actually has been in this pot for probably 25 of those 35 years. And I've been thinking, because it's starting to kind of, well, it's doing all right. I'm not saying it's not doing okay, but every once in a while it goes through a bit of a shed where it drops some of its these little tiny leaves, like this type of thing. And I don't water it very often. I might give it a bit of water once every 2 months. I try not to overwater it. But I have been thinking lately that it's been in that same soil for so long that there cannot be much nutrients left in it. And I don't know how much nutrients a cactus is going to want. But I'm thinking that maybe this spring, and I don't even know what kind of a root they would have, but I'm thinking this spring I might get Gary to help me and carry it outside and pull it out of this pot, maybe wiggle all the dirt from around the bottom of it, and repot it in a bigger pot with some new dirt. I do give it a little bit of nutrients once in a while, but pretty much I don't. So yeah, that's where my new basket's going to go. It's going to go around this pot. Isn't it something? I don't even know what the cactus is called. Maybe some of you will know. I don't know what I'm going to do once it reaches the ceiling. It used to be right in this alcove, but it's gone past that now, so I had to move it around the corner. It's not in the sun. It gets sunlight, but it is not in the sun. It gets just this light from here, you know, whatever comes in here, and then that's south facing and this is west facing, so it gets some light this way, but it doesn't get direct sun. I've never had it in the direct sun. So if you know what this cactus is, let me know. One year, one of the years when I was going through breast cancer, I didn't have the energy or the wherewithal to put a Christmas tree up, so I just decorated this, and this is still on there from that. I just left it on there. And it has lights on it. Every once in a while I will turn them on. I don't know if the battery is still working. Let's see. It should be. There we go. I can't get it to do its thing here. There we go. It doesn't have many lights on, but it has a few. When we're in party mode, we turn it on. They're red and green and yellow Christmas lights. Okay, so that's my cactus, and that's my story. So I've measured the top of the pot across, and it's about 11 inches. And this is, I think, about 12 inches. Let me see. Yeah, it's 12 inches. So that gives me an inch all the way around leeway, and I think that's good enough. So this is going to be as big as the base of my pot. And of course, this will be the inside of it. This is the outside of the pot. This will be the part that will be face down. So we will continue with making the sides. So this is the easy part, really. Now that you've got all your increases and everything is nice and even, you can sort of see where the wedges are here. There's 6 of them. I said 5 in my last video, but actually there's 6. And each one of those little wedges should have the same amount of stitches. Anyway, now we're going to do the sides, and I'm going to show you how to get started. You won't notice much difference than this at first, but as you get going, maybe if you get about 2 inches, you'll see that it is going to be forming the sides. And I will show you how to get the sides started, and then I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to get you to go up to where you want your handles to be, however high. For my pot, I think I'm going to go, well, I don't know, maybe 10 inches first, and then I'll see if I didn't measure the pot, you know, the depth of the pot, and I will do that. But we'll do the sides until wherever you want, however you want the height of where your handles are going to be, that's where you're going to stop doing this next part. So to do the sides, all you're going to do is you're going to single crochet. You're not going to add anything. You're just going to single crochet, 1 single crochet in every stitch around. And you're just going to keep on doing that until you get to the height where you want your handles to be. I have left this, it doesn't matter about starting, you know, a row or anything like that anymore, but I have left this on here, and I'm going to leave this here just so I can sort of see where the beginning was, and I can stop. You can follow, once you get it, the piece of the side, you can sort of follow with your finger, and it's just a rough estimate, but it doesn't really matter. You can take it out if you really want to. And I noticed that some of this color, this one here is about to run out. So I'm going to be having to change my color soon. All I'm going to do is just do 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'm going to just keep on doing that around and around and around. So if you've gotten this far, this is the easy part now. It's extremely easy to get the sides on this. It'll take some time though. I don't know how many stitches are on this round part now. So I just wanted to go over with you again what I am using, the content of the yarn and thread that I'm using right now. And I'm about to run out of a few things. So right now I'm using for yarn is black worsted weight, this sort of sandy brown worsted. Well, actually, I think this is more of a DK. It looked like it was worsted at first, but looking pretty thin here. And this creamy off-white worsted. Okay, those are the 3 worsted that I have. And then I had this little ball of gold. It's sort of a variegated yellow, light yellow, dark yellow, gold crochet cotton. So that's about to run out, but I have another big ball here. And then I have almost exhausted this cone of fairly heavy weight crochet cotton. I'd say this was maybe, it's larger than a size 10. But anyway, this is all that's left on that cone. So that's almost finished. I'm going to have to find something to replace that. And then I'm still working on this. Whatever this fiber is, it's so tough on this cone. And this was in my original basket that I did as well. So I've got a lot on here still. So I'm about to run out of this. And I'm about to run out of this. So I have, let me see what I got to replace these. Okay, in one of my drawers, I found this bag of stuff. It's mostly crochet cotton. It's different weights of crochet cotton, but some of it can be used. Sorry about the crinkle. So there's this one. This is a size 10. No, this is actually pretty close to the one that I just am finishing. So I'm going to use this up. Oh, there's a good thing inside. Maybe we'll see what size it is. Or maybe we won't. And this is all stuff that was given to me by people. And I have so much of it. Okay, so I'm going to use that one. I also have this one. This is really nice. What is this? This is cotton pearl. Actually, I'm going to hang on to that for another project. It's hard to get cotton pearl where I am, so I'm going to keep that one. But I will use that. There's this. This is a pretty color. I'm going to keep that one. And there's this one. This is very fine. Wouldn't pay, but there is this. This is kind of interesting. I don't know what it is, but I'll put that in there. So I've got two here that I can use to replace the white one that's going to run out. Now, this here I have to replace soon. I'm going to get rid of this noisy bag. So I think what I'll use is this. This is very similar. It's a little brighter, but I'll use this to replace that one. And yeah, that should do it, I think. Those are the two that are going to run out. As soon as the little gold, as soon as this one runs out, I might change the color completely to a different color. Maybe to a red, or I have a pink here. I could put the pink in there. That actually might look okay. Or I have an orange as well, a bright orange. So I'm just going to set these aside until I actually have to add them on. And when I add them on, I just tie a knot and keep on going. The knots you can put inside and weave them in. And I don't know if you can see this because there's quite a mess here right now. But this is starting to look like a bowl now. It's starting to come up. See, you can see it this way. And so that's only 3 rows that I've done, and already it's starting to appear like a big bowl, which is what you want to see. So I'm going to keep going, and I will stop again when I have more to show you. Okay, as you can see, my basket is coming along really well. So I have a couple of what ifs. And these are things that you might run across and you might not quite figure out. If you're new to crocheting, you might not figure out how to fix it. What if I'm wanting to make a cover for a pot like I am, and I want my sides to go nice and straight. I don't want them to flop out like this. What do I do? And I'm sort of running into that problem. So I'm going to show you what you can do. There are 2 things you can try. The easy fix, which I wouldn't go for at all, is you could go down a needle size or hook size. However, that might really mess up things. It might fix things, but it might mess up things. If you do that, I suggest you just do a round or 2 and see what the difference of the stitch look is, because a hook size is going to look different. You're going to see it. The other thing, and what I am going to do, is I would do some decreases, and I would start really slow. So I'm going to show you, take you over there to my piece, because mine is starting to kind of go like this a little bit. And I think it's because I'm changing my yarns and they're not always the same, exact same thickness. Even though they may be worsted or DK or whatever I'm replacing with like yarn, they're not exactly the same. So it is altering kind of how the yarn holds up. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. You can see it's starting to do this a little bit, and I want to keep it so that it's going to be nice and straight coming up, because it's not going to be a basket that I'm going to fill with something. It's going to cover a pot that is very straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I can find them, or maybe I'm not. Hold on a second. I can find my stitch markers. I'm going to take my stitch markers. I'm going to take 3 stitch markers, because I've already got one in there. Thought I had another big one, but I don't. Take 3 stitch markers. And remember, I left my starting one here. So using that as a guide, I'm going to fold my piece at that stitch marker. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put a stitch marker on the opposite side of where my fold is. So I'll put one here. And I'll move this other one up to here, just because I want to. So now you've got a stitch marker here and a stitch marker here. Now we're going to fold it this way, meet these 2 stitch markers, and put a stitch marker here and one here. Now, this is a lazy man's way of marking where you want to do your decreases. Obviously, you would never do this with a piece of clothing that you're making. You want to make sure that you are doing things exact, but this is a basket. It really doesn't matter. So now I have 4 areas where I'm going to start off with 4 decreases first. So I'm going to decrease on the stitch where my stitch markers are. And I'll show you how I do that. This one's broken. Oh, okay. So I'm going to start with, and it doesn't matter where you start or where you end with this, as long as you have 4 fairly equal places to start. You want your you want to do your decreases sort of in an equal way. You don't want to do all your decreases on one side. You want to distribute it around. Okay, so I'm going to go to my first one. I've added a new color, pink. I'm hoping that decreasing 4 stitches is going to be enough to pull this in. If it isn't, I will do a few rounds and then maybe I'll decrease 4 more until I feel like it's coming back into shape. And this is just what I'm going to do with this this basket. Okay, I'm not, got one more to go. I'm at the first stitch marker. So how I'm going to do this is I thought I could take that off, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to pull that through, but I'm not going to take it off. Now I'm going to go into the next one, and I'm going to pull up a loop, and then I'm going to go through all 3 of them. Okay, so I've done 1 decrease. Now I'm going to just crochet along to my next stitch marker. And I hope that this will be enough to pull my work a little straighter. I want this to be straight up and down. I don't want it to be kind of laying loose in some places, if that makes any sense. If I needed to do this, I would try this before I would change the size of my hook. That's just me. I don't know. It's a personal preference, I guess. I would rather decrease a couple of stitches than change the size of my hook. Okay, I'm at the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in the stitch, grab a loop, pull it up, leave it. I'm going to go in the next stitch. This stitch marker get out of my way. I'm going to go into the next stitch, pull a loop, and then I'm going to pull it through all 3. Okay, I lost my stitch marker. I didn't lose it, it's just going the other way. Away I go to the next one. And I really think that just taking off 4 stitches off of this is going to get me right back where I want to be with this basket. Now also, I was thinking that really this basket, because of how I'm going to be using it, does not need handles, but I will show you how to do the handles anyway. I can always take them off after, and I probably will, because I don't know that I really, well, maybe I'll leave the handles on. I don't know. We will see. So I'm coming up to the next marker. I'm going to be running out of my black very soon. Now, the reason why your bag would gape a little bit might be because of your yarn. Okay, just let me do this first. So here's the stitch. I'm going to go in it, pull a loop, go into the next stitch, pull a loop, and loop over, and all 3. So the reason why your piece might be kind of gaping out a little bit or not holding might, and if you're changing yarns like this, might be because it might be because of the changing of the yarn. Maybe one yarn is not as, see, it's already standing up straighter. That really works. I can see it already. So yeah, maybe one of your new yarns that you put on was smaller than the other, or maybe you loosened up your crocheting. Maybe you're not pulling your threads as tight. Maybe you maybe you're using a softer kind of yarn, you know, like not all acrylic yarn is the same. You can get the old type of acrylic yarn like this, which is what I'm sort of using up, which is probably Red Heart or one of those that are really very tough, very strong. Or you can get an acrylic like this that's very soft. Well, this is going to really change your your shape because it's soft. It's not got the, it's got toughness, but it's soft. So those might be factors in why your piece is doing that. I have to get something to tie on the end of this. And I could have sworn, well, I got some brown here. I'll just throw this one on for now. I could have sworn I brought one up. No. So, you know, those are contributing factors to your basket's look and to your basket shape. It might be that, you know, it's just one of the yarns was softer or thinner, or maybe you just crocheted looser. That happens sometimes. So that's not going to hold. And the other thing is I have not done this with wool. I'm using acrylic because personally I think acrylic would be best for a basket. I wouldn't even waste wool on a basket, to be honest, but if that's all you have, I guess that's what you'd be using. But to me, wool is far too precious for something like this. But that's up to you. Yeah, this, I think this is done exactly what I needed it to do. It's pulled this in enough that it's upright again. So that's just one little thing you might come across in this exercise. And I'm on the last one here. So we're going to go in this one, pull up a loop. I'm going to take this one off because it's broken, and I have that one down there. And we're going to go into the next one, pull up a loop, and then go through all 3 loops. And that's a decrease. So now, let me see. I see a difference. It's standing nice and upright, where before it was sort of starting to slouch down. So I'm happy about that. And if I keep going and I feel like it's doing that again, maybe I'll just take 2 stitches off, or maybe I'll do 4 again. The other thing is, if you want to shape something even more, say you want your basket to be fat on the bottom and then sort of come in, that is how you will bring it in. You will bring it in by decreasing some stitches. And for myself, in a project like this, the easiest way is to do how I did it. Mark it out just by folding it in half. In fact, when we come to do the handles, that's exactly how we're going to do them. So I hope this helps you if you're having difficulty keeping your basket upright. But I don't think you will have this problem unless you, like me, are switching with all different kinds of threads and yarns. But it is a great stash buster, is it not? Okay, I will come back when it's time to do the handles. So here's just a side view of my basket. And it's really standing up nice and straight now. I'm very happy with that decrease. That worked really well. If it starts to do that again, I will definitely pull it in by taking in a couple more stitches. I might not do 4, but I certainly would do 2. So I have probably another, I would say 6 inches to go, and then I will come back and we will do our handle, which is the last part of this basket making process. Coming along, and it's looking great. Okay, I have got my sides as tall as I want them. I've gone 12 inches. My pot that I'm going to be using to cover this with is 11 inches, so I went an inch more. And as you can see, it's nice and round, nice and straight, just exactly how I want it. Now it's time to do our handles. If you don't want handles, you can just finish your piece off right here, or make it taller or whatever you want to do. But if you want to have handles, we're going to do that now. So I'm just going to use a rough estimate. This is where my last stitch was here. I'm just going to fold this in half, okay? And I use this as my half point. So you're going to put a stitch marker here on this end over here. And then you're going to put another stitch marker over here. Same kind of principle as when we were doing the decreases. We're going to do the same thing. We're not doing the same thing, but we are going to put stitch markers to mark our spot. Okay. Now, this is where our handles are going to be placed, but we have to do a little bit more. We need 2 more stitch markers, and we are going to count 5 stitches from each one. We're going to go the same way though. So I'm going to count 5 stitches this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a stitch marker there. And then I'm going to go the same way on this one. And I'm going to count 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll put my other stitch marker here. So now you've outlined where your handles are going to be. You're going to have one handle here and one handle here. And although it looks like it's not even, it is pretty much, because you've split this in half. So now we're going to take our hook and our yarn, and we are going to crochet up to this stitch here. And we're going to still do single crochet. So just going to, I gotta tighten my yarn up. Just going to single crochet along to this first stitch, or not the first stitch, the first marker. I hope you're having fun. Now, I must say, this is 3 days later. This has taken me 3 days to get this far. I've got a lot of other things that I'm working on, so I haven't stuck with this probably like I would normally do. But also, I have found this very hard on my arm for some reason. Maybe because I have been doing other strenuous things with my arm as well. So this was just kind of like the cream on the cake. But yeah, it's 3 days later from when I started this video. Not the project, but this video. And I've been recording all along. And I've got something like 2 hours of footage of this, which I'm going to be editing out most of it, because who wants to watch 2 hours of me going round and round in circles doing single crochet? I hope you can see what I'm doing. I had to change my setup here because my basket is too high for my table. So now I'm on a stool, and I've had to change my camera setup, move it, and it's just dangling here by a thread. So I hope it's going to work. I'm going to be running out of thread again. Something is wrapped around my legs. It's going to trip me. A couple more stitches, and then I'm at the first marker. Okay, we're at the first marker. We're going to single crochet in that marked stitch. And then we're going to do a chain of, the pattern says to chain 9. I'm going to chain 10. I just want a little bit wider. The less you chain, sorry about that, the less you chain, the smaller the handle will be. I like it a little bit wider to get my hand through, so I'm going to chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's Let's do this again. I'm at a really odd angle here. Actually, no, maybe I will chain 9 because I forgot. This is not going to be a basket. This is going to be a pot cover. Okay, I gotta start over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you're going to take this and you're just going to go over to this next marker and you're going to single crochet in that stitch. Okay, so there's the start of your handle. Now I'm going to crochet all the way around to the other side where the other marker is. So I'm going to turn you off because I don't want to run this any longer, and I'll show you me doing that again. Okay, I'm at the next marker and I'm going to do a single crochet in that stitch, and then I'm going to chain 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you're going to skip all those stitches and go to the next marker and do a single crochet in there. So you have made the start of your your handles. Now, if you want to make a bigger handle than that, you could just keep with this and make more chains, or you could add another stitch over, make it wider and add more chains. You can do whatever you want, but this is just, I'm just following the pattern. And what I should have done was left that marker in here for my beginning. So I'm going to put that marker back. So I roughly know where the start of my round is. Not that it really matters, but for me, I just like to know. Okay, so now you are just going to go around to this. You're going to go chain all the way around till you get to this stitch here where you made this chain. Okay, and then I'm going to do that off camera again, and when I get to this point here, I'm going to stop and I will show you what to do next. Okay, I've crocheted around till I'm at the stitch where I did the chain. So I'm going to crochet in that stitch first. See if I can you see that? This here is the stitch right here where I did the chain from. So I'm going to do a single crochet in that stitch right there. Oops. Okay, now we have the 9 chain stitches that we did. We are going to single crochet 9 single crochets around this, not through it, just around it. I'll show you how. Hook underneath this chain, grab your yarn, bring it up, and complete your first single crochet. You're going to do that 9 times. And you might want to just kind of slide them down because they'll take up some space. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to slide them a bit. 7, 8, 9. Now I have a little extra space here, so I'm going to do a couple more until I get right down here, because I like my handle to be nice and firm. If it's going to be a handle, let it be a handle. You can do whatever you want. You can stay at the 9, or you can add more until you get to the bottom. I'm an experienced crocheter, so, and I don't always follow things as they're written. So it looks like I'm doing 13 on here to get my solid handle. Okay, so there we go. There's your handle. Now, again, I'm going to single crochet in this very first stitch here where I have my marker in, my other marker. And that just cements that handle really nice and solid. Now I'm going to single crochet all the way around to my next marker. And I'll come back when I'm there and we'll do this process again. Okay, once again, I am back here to the stitch where I did my chain, that first stitch that I marked. So I'm going to single crochet in the stitch down here. Just a minute. Single crochet in this stitch, and then we are going to go, my yarn is not behaving properly, and then we're going to go, the pattern says to do 9 single crochets around the handle. I ended up doing how many? 13 to get my handle covered. So again, we're going to take our hook and we're going to go under the handle, catch that thread that's at the back, pull it around, grab it again, and make a single crochet. So that's 1. And I pull mine down so it's nice and solid. 2. 3. 4. Thread on there. 5. 6. Okay, I didn't get something here. Go back to 5. Now I'm going to go back to 4. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pull these down. See, I still have a little bit of room. 10, 11. I'm standing, working at a very odd angle here. Okay, so that's full now. And I'm going to do that last single crochet right in that very first stitch that I had this on. So you might think because I did more single crochet on the handle than is required that I've added stitches and it's going to gape out. but because I have stopped that right here, it won't, because this is this one stitch that I just did now, the very last one right in the body of that, that's still the same count as it was before, so it won't make any difference. It won't make your thing gape. So now the pattern tells you to just do 2 more repeats, and I'm not going to do 2 more repeats because, again, this one is not going to be a basket per se. So I'm just going to work up until this marker here, and I'm going to stop. But when you go to do the 2 more rounds, you're going to single crochet all the way around. And when you get here, you are just going to single crochet in all of these stitches here. You're going to continue along this part. You're going to, here would be the first stitch of the body, and this is the handle. You're going to stitch in this one, this one, this one, this one, and you're going to put your hook through just like you did when you first started out. So you will do 2 rows of that, and then you will be finished. I, however, am not doing that because this is going to be a pot cover, not a basket. And for me, this is going to be, if I do 2 more rows, this is going to be way too high. So I'm going to leave it like, I'm going to leave the handles on, but I have to fix this because my thread got all messed up here. I will leave these handles on, but I'm not going to take it any higher. This is more than high enough for my pot cover. But I am going to go right to my center stitch again, and that's where I'm going to stop, because that's where I started the handle portion of this from. So I will finish up to there, just to make it even on both sides. And then your basket, once you finish those other 2 rows, and if you don't want to do the other 2 rows, you don't have to, but it does finish off really nicely. It makes the handle a little bit more secure because it's tying it into the body of the basket, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You don't have to put handles on at all if you don't want to. Oh man, I'm getting tired, I think. So I hope you have enjoyed doing this, and I hope you make many, many, many baskets. Now, I am going to make another pot cover. I have another pot that's in a kind of an ugly plastic pot that I'd like to cover. It's not big like this at all. It's quite small. So I'm just going to do a smaller hook and less yarn. And I am going to make a small cover for that one. Okay, so we're finished. What do? What I'm going to do is a slip stitch here, which is, you have your yarn here, and you just slip this all the way through here, pull it up, just a minute. My threads are just not cooperating here. Okay, let's try it again. They want to come off. There we go. And I will cut this, give it a little bit of space. Take all my markers out. One more. And with my hook, I'm just going to take my hook and I'm going to weave this yarn in, and I will just weave it down through. I need a smaller hook for this actually. You can either weave it across. Okay, so I'll weave it across. Let's just do it that way. Doesn't really matter how you do it, but I will weave it across. Where am I? Bring it in here. And then I'll grab it. And I'll bring it in here. It's the same thing. I mean, this is what you would do for anything really, only you would need maybe use a needle and put your needle in, but that's enough. I'm just going to cut the rest of it off and call it a day. Now, there's still this thing inside here where I first started. I'm just going to cut it off. It's a basket. I really don't care. And the rest of it, I'm leaving. If there's little pieces, like in here, this I could cut off. Doesn't need to be there. And my basket is done. So the only thing left now is to go and put it on the pot. I think we should go and do and see how it looks. Just before we go down, I'll show you. I cleaned up almost four. There's a little bit left of this brown. 4 of these crochet cottons. None of them were 100% full, but still, that's 4 less in a bag. I still have more of this. This is amazing stuff. This had crochet cotton on it that I cleaned up. I cleaned up, remember the little pile of stuff I had here? That's all in there. And yeah, that's a good stash buster for sure. So let's go down and put my basket on my pot. Oh, that looks awesome. Turned out perfect, just what I wanted. Just what I wanted. So, if any of you know what this plant is called and what I should do when it reaches the ceiling, let me know. I hope you have fun making your baskets. And if you like these videos, please leave a thumb up and a like. And please subscribe if you want to. That really helps move my channel along. So, happy basket making, everybody. Have a great day. Bye for now.